Yo, what is up, YouTube? Radar25 back in with another video. My co-host, Michael Fuentemania.
What up, Marks?
Guys, we're back again. You know what time it is. Last night was Friday Night Smackdown. We're going to hit you with our takeaway video for Friday Night Smackdown. Those are 3 takeaways from a lackluster Friday Night Smackdown. I'm going to let you know straight out the gate that it was kind of a not that good of a show. Just to be honest with you.
Yeah. It was ass.
Yeah. Funny, like, interesting thing they did backstage with Miz Morrison and Braun Strowman with their continuing feud going to Backlash. Not to say that it was good, but it was interesting. A couple things with Jeff Hardy that we'll get into, guys. But before we do, I want to remind you guys, drop a like on this video and the previous videos, the subscribe button if you're not subscribed. Hit the notification bell so you guys are missing anything that drops on this channel. Follow me on social media, Instagram, Twitter, my live streams where I stream Call of Duty, Mixer, and Twitch. All that stuff pop on the screen. You know, without further ado, guys, let's jump right into the video. Our 3 takeaways from that Friday Night Smackdown. All right, guys, the show started off with Jeff Hardy speaking his mind. This is going to be takeaway number 1, and it is basically just them bringing in the real-life story of Jeff Hardy and playing it into the storyline on TV. They've done this before with other guys. They've done it with Jeff Hardy before. This is like the second time they've done it, because in his feud against CM Punk, you know, a while back, over 10 years ago, they did the same thing with the substance abuse issues.
Straight Edge Society.
Yeah, Straight Edge Society stuff. So it'd be interesting to see. They did it with CM Punk and Jericho as well. Their feud already going up to WrestleMania 28. You know, like with CM Punk's family history, because Jericho making fun of that. We saw with Scott Hall with Steve Austin when the NWO, that feud before WrestleMania 18.
That was major issues. That was a bad take.
That was major issues, yeah, because if you listen to Something to Wrestle with Bruce Pritchard, you know the story behind that, and the fact that he was taking a drug that anytime he smelled alcohol make him vomit, you know, in order to kick the habit, and that was what's happening was there. But guys, remember, they all agree to this. I'm assuming they all have to agree to this.
Oh yeah,
before it happens, yeah, they have to be like, yeah, are you okay with it? They're like, yeah. So Jeff Hardy, obviously, he is okay because this is the second time they're doing it with him. So he comes out, speaks his mind about what happened. It's like an outlandish story that, you know, he got arrested. He was at the police station, did a bunch of sobriety tests, passed them all. Then they had witnesses come in and say they saw a guy get out of the car that hit Elias with red hair and a red beard. Obviously, Sheamus can do a better job of hiding his face.
He's a big, like a pale white monster with red hair.
Well, I'm saying wear a mask.
Conspicuous, my ass.
wear one of those luchador masks that seem to be all over the place in NXT.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is what happens, and he calls out Sheamus, and then the brawl ensues and sets up. They will have a match at Backlash: Sheamus versus Jeff Hardy. But let me get your thoughts on what you think of the whole real life stuff playing in, and they're using it in storyline.
I mean, I think it's okay. They've been trying to do like the realism into it, but we've seen this storyline before. This was like a funny take last week with the whole, not funny take, but like they tried to do like a whole serious, but it came off kind of cheesy, car accident scene, all that crap. His like the whole reason with the cops to let him out. We also like the, you know, like the Sheamus. I mean, was like the guy that's talking about the car. I thought that was kind of just like cheap and like no shit. Like that's the way we're gonna find out. To me, it would have been better if they would have like been a couple of weeks of finding out what happened. They actually built a storyline over it. So it just being the night of, he comes out of prison or jail, whatever, attacks, blah, blah, blah. And then this week we find out the whole story. I just wish it was like maybe like a mystery kind of thing, like who did it, who set him up. Would have been more fun. But so far it was okay. I don't think it's gonna break any records, this whole storyline they're coming up with. It is what it is.
Yeah, that is true. It's not going to break any records as to, like, you know, in creativity. Because, yeah, you're right. I mean, we all knew it was going to be Sheamus in the end. But, them kind of doing it last week where nothing's really said, but he gets out of the police station, released, and he just attacks Sheamus. You kind of just knew. And this week he talks about it or whatever. They should have just had him get released over the week leading up to SmackDown. And he gets released from the police station and comes out, talks about it, and then reveals that Sheamus is the guy that did it.
Or even if just like maybe footage. Like show footage of like of him doing it, or like we wait a couple of weeks. I don't know, just let it drag out a little bit. I don't know. It's just everything felt like it happened first segment on SmackDown last week. Then by the end of the segment, he's back out of jail, and then the first segment here, they just tell the whole story.
Well, I mean, you're led to believe that the first segment of SmackDown last week happened like a few hours before the show actually started. That's what you're led to believe, but it is what it is. But people are kind of like I CM Punk has something to say about it, that he's not a fan of when they do this, when they did it with him and Jeff Hardy, over 10 years ago. I think it was 2009 they did that in. I don't have a problem with it because the guys agree to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's part of it. It throws a little bit more realism into it because it's
and
the
like,
truth thing.
And honestly, they have stuff like this on TV shows all over the TV like networks everywhere. They always have stuff like this. So it's like, what is it? This is basically like a Lifetime story.
It's basically like a reality TV show because they have reality TV shows like whatever like whatever I forgot what the doctor's name is that helps people like with sobriety issues and shit like that.
Dr. Drew Kraft.
Dr. Drew, that one. Yeah. So they do that shit all the time. I don't have a problem with it. It is fine. Like I said, they agree to it. They obviously ask him, but they tell him if he had a problem with it, he would shut it down. He'd be like, "No, I'm not doing it."
And it's a TV show, guys. It's a TV show. At the end of the day, that's what they are. They're just a live TV show or more realistic TV show. Whatever.
Yeah, and it gives them something to do on TV rather than just be like, Jeff, we really got nothing for you right now, so we're just gonna put you in a bunch of random matches. At least this has something to it. He's gonna get a pay-per-view match out of it, and we'll see what happens there. So it's fine. Hardy did a good job in general with this promo, even though it's kind of over the top storyline, but it is what it is. I don't have a problem with it. I don't think anybody should. If you do, I think you're a little bit too sensitive on the issue. Yeah, because remember, it's his life. He's the one that's choosing to go along with it. So it's his decision. Guys, next thing on the show is Otis versus Baron Corbin. This is a fine match, between the two guys. Don't really see much of them, before, but they are feuding. Otis took Corbin's crown, which is like a major thing now. It ended up a double disqualification. A disqualification for Baron Corbin, so Otis got the win here. And he went, and the brawl afterwards, he came out on top. Him and Mandy celebrating. So I guess he's getting into a feud with Otis and keeping
Baron Corbin.
Yeah, keeping it away from Braun Strowman right now.
Yeah.
And next thing in the show, Lacey Evans versus Sonya Deville, rematch from last week. This match, I thought last week's match was a little bit better. But this one, distraction finish. Mandy Rose comes on the Titantron, distracts Sonya Deville. Lacey Evans, she turns around. Lacey Evans hits her with the women's right, gets the win. So that feud still continues, but Lacey Evans kind of being thrown into it. So we'll see where it goes going into Backlash. Maybe Triple Threat, something like that. Next thing on the show, AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan meet, hyping up their match. I believe it's next week. It will happen on Fox, for the Intercontinental title. And basically just, Daniel Bryan does a good job of playing his promos really like realistically because they come off as like he really like what he's saying, he really believes it. You know what I'm saying? He comes off that way. So just like he's talking smack stuff, when he got to the feud with Miz. So he does a good job of this. They go back and forth. Obviously, he calls AJ a coward for for the reasons why he took the bye and take a match, why he wanted to do it. AJ's talking about giving out handouts. So this turns into a match. He gives a handout, a match to Drew Gulak. Him and Drew Gulak have a match. Solid match. Obviously, Drew Gulak is very well sound in the ring.
Yeah, he's so good. He's so underrated. His mic skills or whatever, but in the ring, he's one of the best, I think, in the world. Just technical on the mat wrestling, he's one of the best in the world.
He really is tremendous, really underrated, and it's good to see him getting like some like shine here and there. And he does get the win over AJ, surprising there. But we're like, it's a little bit more just hype heading into the Intercontinental. Maybe Drew Gulak cost Daniel Bryan Intercontinental title. You never know. Maybe that could happen. It could he could cost him.
It'd be interesting.
Yeah, guys. Next thing on the show is a backstage segment with Nakamura. I'm sorry, with Shorty G. Then Mojo Rawley jumps in. Then Nakamura and Cesaro are in there too. It sets up a match: New Day and Chad Gable, Shorty G versus Shinsuke Nakamura, Cesaro, and Mojo Rawley. So a rare Mojo Rawley sighting.
Well, Gronk was like, "I'm out, gonna go play football," and then Mojo was like, "Damn it, I got no more anything interesting coming up, so just throw him in there." Lost his best friend.
So they just throw him in there, and then it's a 6-man tag. New Day and Shorty G get the win. This is a good match. I heard, I'm not sure if it's true, that Shorty G will get an Intercontinental title match. This is the first challenger to whoever wins the IC title match.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I heard because he won this match. That's what I saw on Instagram. I'm not sure if it was accurate or not, so don't quote me on that.
Right.
But
sounds a little weird because he just won a random triple threat tag team match.
Yeah, but good to see Shorty G out there. He needs a better gimmick. The Shorty G gimmick kind of sucks.
It blows.
He's too good.
I'm tired of all like the Shorty this. Oh, I'm gonna cut this interview short. Like just stop with the damn.
Yeah, the puns and stuff.
Yeah, puns everywhere.
Yeah, but that was what it was. They get the win there. Next thing on the show that we want to cover is takeaway number 2. and it is the shenanigans of Miz and Morrison towards Braun Strowman. This went throughout the show, right? So for some reason, Miz and Morrison have like a FBI van where they have like
Miz knows somebody, so Miz knows the guys.
He knows a guy
with the system
and set him up with the whole surveillance system inside the van, and they have cameras all over the place. So they're seeing Braun Strowman arrive at the arena early in the night in his Buick Grand National. Very nice car that he surprisingly fits in. He gets in, and then
it was kind of tight getting out. He kind of bumped in a little bit.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to get out too fast, and he kind of bumped out because he's kind of big. So they're watching him, and I don't know how they set this up, but he's gonna make a protein shake inside the Performance Center, and for some reason,
now real quick, no one takes a cap off like Braun Strowman. That dude was like just tossing the caps on the thing. I was like, dude, why are you so pissed off on the cap?
Nobody fills up a protein shaker without taking out the cap, and they just stick the water bottle on the inside. I've never seen anybody do that. So when he does it, it explodes on him. I don't know what was added to it, but then Mr. Morrison are laughing their asses off over it. Later on, we'll see him have an interview with Kayla Braxton. They're having an interview in the back, and they press a button on Amazon Fire remote. That's what the remote was an Amazon Fire TV remote. I don't know, but they press that button, and the Nickelodeon slime comes down, but it hits Kayla Braxton instead of hitting Braun Strowman. So they're kind of like, oh shit, we fucked up on that. But they still have a good time with it. Then they decide those two kind of like juvenile cornball things, then take it to breaking Braun Strowman's windshield on his car. So they just they do those two small things and they jump like crazy to break his windshield.
And then they destroy his property. So that's like,
Yeah, they destroy his property. Braun Strowman comes out, he's obviously pissed. The security guys rat out Miz Morrison, say they're in that white van over there in the corner.
and the rape van.
And the rape van, yeah. And then Braun Strowman attacks the van. Obviously the van has cameras all over it because they keep going close-ups of Braun Strowman's face, and he's looking directly into the camera, and he flips the van on its side. Another feat of strength that we haven't seen from Braun Strowman in a while.
Braun loves flipping, ambulances and cars and vans and dumpsters. I mean, anything heavy, he will lift it up and throw it down. So, I mean, it was a fun little segment. It was funny. Happened throughout the day. It was corny, but funny. I mean, it was entertaining. Miz and Morrison are doing a good job of being just like the two slapstick a-holes. And it was pretty good. I mean, I enjoyed it. And nice Grand National. Hopefully Vince and the company will fix up his windshield for him.
Yeah, they're probably like, we'll break only the windshield and we'll replace it immediately afterwards and stuff like that. But yeah, it was what it was. Good to see another like feat of. I enjoy the feat of strengths from Braun Strowman when they do it sparingly, like when he flipped a lot of stuff. Yeah.
And this one felt a little more realistic because there was one where the ambulance where you saw something underneath looked like it pulled it out last time. Last times he did it, but this time it just looked like he actually just pushed it over. So I thought it was fun. It was funny, and seeing Braun in the camera like.
Jacked up you're dead, man. It's funny, and like the acting by Miz Morrison while the van was flipping over was pretty funny. But they'll have their handicap match at Backlash. See how that goes. Obviously, Braun is probably going to win that. Guys, next thing on the show is the main event. It's takeaway number 3 of the night, and it is the women's tag team title match between Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross, the champions, versus Bayley and Sasha Banks. This was a good match. It is surprising the ending because Bayley and Sasha Banks come away with the tag team championships and the new tag team champions. Now, Bayley is the first person to have both titles, the women's title and the women's tag team at the same time. It was surprising. There were a little bit like a miscommunication between Bayley and Sasha, but it's still they ended up getting the win. And I don't know how this works in with the Iconics. The Iconics were kind of vying for the tag team titles as well. So I could see at Backlash a triple threat.
Yeah, I can see that too. But remember that the women's tag team belts can be, on every brand basically. So they can just challenge anybody. So maybe we're definitely going to see Bayley and Sasha on Raw more. That's my guess. But this was surprising. I like because you're waiting and waiting for that Bayley and Sasha to finally clash and break up, and now you gave them the belts. It adds another, monkey wrench and whatever just into their plans and kind of throws where does this go, like it's going to be longer, maybe somebody costs them the tag team belts or something like that. So it's definitely interesting. We'll see where it goes though, but it was definitely pretty cool to see Bayley and Sasha the tag team champs again.
Yeah, it was surprising to see them win, and to see how like with the like you said, the status of their relationship and them just winning these titles is kind of odd, like because remember there's the whole thing where Sasha after WrestleMania, she didn't want to show up because, you know, she was upset that they lost the tag team titles because they felt like they could do so much more with them, right? And they lost them to Billie Kay and Peyton Royce in that multi-person match. So, you know, I don't think they're going to have a short run, but I mean, the tag team champions, like, how long could it possibly last with the issues that they're having in between them? You're teasing them. How much longer are you going to tease it for?
And like, I had this thing where it's like made up in the back of my mind where it's like SummerSlam, it's Bayley and Sasha. Like, I think that's where it's going to end. So we have about another month and a half, 2 months of it. So I guess they'll maybe have that run for 2 months, lose her right before the SummerSlam pay-per-view or, you know, on a SmackDown or something. And then they'll go from there. But it's definitely, I was expecting already for them to be breaking up. But this is interesting, whatever. We'll see where it goes. I mean, or maybe they'll never break up. They'll just have this whole thing going on of them kind of bickering back and forth a little bit, but always being best friends. So I don't know. Pretty cool.
I mean, the rumor is that Vince is planning on holding SummerSlam with fans. Like, he's adamant on it, so he will wait it out if he has to.
Like a SummerSlam in October or something?
I mean, he's planning on, like, waiting, maybe till, like, the end. I mean, that thing usually takes place to, like, end of August, so I don't know how long he can wait it out for. But we'll see what happens with that, you know. But, I was thinking the same thing, Sasha, Bayley at SummerSlam for the women's title. So maybe, I don't know, because they have Backlash, that's the June pay-per-view. They have a July pay-per-view. Whichever the hell that one is, and we'll find out. Maybe they'll lose the titles then. It could be a short run, and leading up to Sasha turning on Bayley, and then Sasha eventually winning the women's title. So I doubt Sasha could complain that much if she loses the tag team title, but she wins the women's title. You know?
She won't complain then.
You know how much truth there was to the original rumors of her being upset because of that, because she was laying on the floor in the locker room supposedly and upset, and then she didn't want to show up. They brought it up when she returned after that. They played towards it, the fact that she was upset.
I mean, she definitely had a temper tantrum. I was at that WrestleMania. Everybody was kind of shocked when the Iconics won. They were like, "What the?" So I mean, it's probably true. It's probably, you know, and throwing in that real life stuff always kind of makes it more interesting and be like, "Hey, we love the drama." So but I think it's cool. Like, I'm okay. I mean, Alexa, I want to see Alexa Bliss challenge for the women's title. That's what I want to see. Alexa Bliss, because I feel like she's been out of the picture for so long. She was hurt for almost a year or whatever it was.
Yeah, and she was like, you know, really in there in the beginning, like winning both brands' titles.
I mean, she was like,
got injured, and she had like a constant injury cycle where she kept getting hurt, like concussion wise and stuff like that. So it was good to see her back in the title picture. So
I mean, I like Nikki Cross. We can see where, you know, put her in a singles run too as well, or maybe they continue being a tag team, whatever the case may be, but. This is interesting. It was unexpected. Usually the titles dropping on SmackDown or Raw, any titles is always kind of like, whoa, that doesn't happen all the time. So, you know, it's interesting. We'll see where it goes. Like I said, I said that a lot today, but it's kind of, you know, we're in that mode right now. We're just kind of seeing where
everything goes. Yeah, because we don't know what's going to happen here, what's going to happen there. Yeah.
That's all we got right now.
But guys, that is SmackDown. So 3 takeaways from Friday Night Smackdown. A little bit of news dropped a couple days ago. Jinder Mahal obviously made his return from Monday Night Raw 2 weeks ago. He's injured again, so he'll be out for the foreseeable future. He had another surgery on his knee, so we'll see where that goes. I was excited to see Jinder back, especially with Drew as champion. But now let's see what happens, because Jinder's out for probably a long time. Other than that, that's
for him.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
And we got In Your House tomorrow. Drops right after. We'll drop a show right after the event's over. And then I hope the Undertaker Last Ride is that coming up afterwards?
It's only 5 parts, so they split up the last 2 parts kind of like really sparingly. So I think we still got to wait another week, I think, until that episode 4 of that. So really not much to watch. Well, if you do want to watch on some In Your Houses on the WB Network, especially In Your House 1. Check that one out. Calgary Stampede, Cold Day in Hell. All that stuff like that. It's Time, that one. So, you know, watch a few of these if you're getting hankering and watching In Your House. Like I said, hopefully they have the set. That'll be the most important thing of In Your House. But yeah, we'll drop that video Sunday night after the show. Appreciate you guys for watching. Remember, if it doesn't work, you're not do the job.
Later, Marks.